Woohoo, I got a 100% like rate. One person watching and one like. Woohoo. Good morning, Ruth. First in today. I am. I'm doing well. I'm always doing good on a Sunday because I'm going into my weekend. So while this is my short week off, um, I've taken a couple days off for Halloween, and so basically, I work or I'm off 3 days. I go back work on Wednesday. I'm off Thursday, Friday, back off or back on work again on Saturday, and then I'm going into my 4 day weekend. So woohoo! Good morning, Yvonne. Wow, we lost her already. That was quick. Yeah, the three of the four clocks are doing good. I've got the antique clock off right now. It works, but there's something wrong with it. So I want to bring it back into the shop, have them take another look at it. But I think it'll be fine. I think it's just an adjustment. When you got a 130-year-old clock like that, there's likely to be some glitches. I only worked 3 times this year. That was all I could do. Just when we were in the maintenance interval at work. That way, because I didn't have to work those days. But I really can't do it much anymore. Right now, the weather's really kind of warm. It's I think, going to be upper 80s today. But we got like a cold front coming in. I'm concerned Halloween may get canceled this year because they're predicting rain and nice rainstorm starts like Wednesday night and then going like through next week. So we're going into a wet period here. I hope it fades away and doesn't happen, but I can't put my stuff out on Halloween if it's raining. So we're gonna have to see what happens there. No, that's what I'm thinking. There's nothing here that I want to have outside when and have it get wet. So Halloween may end up just being what I have right now, which is, lights and that spooky eye on the chimney and a few things like that. The fire effect on the porch, the ghost in the window, the zombie babies in the window. Now I am thinking if it's like just a gentle rain or something like that. I have an easy up, and so I might just put that up in the front yard, and even if I can't have any of the decorations out, I'll be at least out giving away candy to anyone who happens to be there. Sometimes you get people that'll put on a raincoat and go. It doesn't work so well with the costumes, but You're just extra affectionate today, aren't you? You say we get the old cat off there first, huh? What do you think? Plenty of opportunity to make a new cat. Yeah, this is the first time I think I've ever actually had one look like it could actually happen. Because I've been watching it. I watch the weather, pretty close on the internet to see what's happening, especially with something like this, where hey, I'm going to be doing Halloween. What's Halloween weather look like? And I saw even like a week ago they were saying there was a chance of rain on Halloween. I said, oh, I hope that doesn't happen. Who knows? We'll have to see. It does. And I mean, sometimes you can make an argument that, okay, we'll hold Halloween, tomorrow night or something like that. In fact, if it seems likely that Halloween's going to, be affected, I may end up, putting up everything a day or so early and saying, hey, if you got your costumes, come by. I'll be open this night or whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm hoping the weather changes, but it's not moving in the right direction. It keeps getting more and more chance. So we're a few days out, so it could still, mellow out, but it ain't looking good. Hey, Tracy. Oh, yeah, I got more than just a monster behind me here. We got a few guest stars today. Still hoping to get that camera angle a little bit better, but whatever. I don't like being that low in the frame, but oh well. Yeah, Bite is still here. He's just as affectionate as ever. That's really what this is all about, isn't it? You'll let me pet you as long as I want to, but as soon as I start dishing the treats, you'll get a few of them, and then that's it. You're off, isn't it? That's how it usually works, isn't it? Or is it that when I put the kitty treat jar on, you say, "Oh, I guess that's it. There's no more point of being here, huh?" Well, this one's pretty good. He has his moments. He'll take the love when he can get it, won't you? Your motor's running, dude. Your cat started biting you. That's no good. That's how our life came started, right? That's how you got your name, isn't it? Because when I first found you and tried to grab you, you tried to bite me. Yes, it is. That is how you got your name, isn't it? Now you couldn't imagine biting me unless you bite my fingers grabbing the treat out of my hand. That's just not a good thing to do, bite. No, it isn't. You should never bite the hand that feeds you. No, not 3 months, about 5 weeks. Yeah, they were tiny little things. Here, I got a picture of them. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. It can take me a minute to find them here. Let's see, where are we? Maybe I don't have them here. I'll have to. Da, 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 da. Maybe they're in here. No, I guess not. Oh well, I do have a picture of them. It's basically me with one of them in each of my hand, holding them like this. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have any say over what the ads are. Basically, with any other ad that you see, if it's a product you you think you can use, you're doing the channel a favor by buying it from them, but not from Kamala. No, do not vote for Kamala. Work continues to be a learning experience. It's something new every day, and it keeps me occupied. A really busy week this week. I was there 2, 3 hours overtime every night. So yeah, I'm mute too. Actually, when I had TV, I actually had a DVR, and so I wouldn't watch anything live. I'd watch it. I'd wait and play it back, and that way I could just fast forward to the commercials. Didn't even see them. Yeah, I don't have an antenna. I don't have cable TV. I don't do that anymore. I dropped it a couple years ago because I wasn't watching it. And the entire time I've been in Texas, I'd had the TV on 3 times, and two of them were me verifying that the TV worked after I got hooked up cable for the first time. It wasn't worth it. Yeah, I don't. I'm not a fan of the ads on some of the subscription channels too. Like I have Paramount Plus, and even though I'm paying for that service, I still have to watch ads. Granted, it's only one ad per viewing session, but you know what? I'm paying for this. I shouldn't have to watch ads. Yeah, not even broadcast here. Don't even have an antenna on the roof. I'm guessing the previous owners were the same way too. They because there wasn't an antenna here when I moved in. I always need that vodka. Yeah, I remember YouTube having no ads too. Yeah, that's a drag when your HOA gets involved with stuff like that. It's bad enough that you only have one company you can deal with for a lot of that stuff. It's even worse when you're forced to pay for it and you don't even want it. How's my sister doing? She's doing fine. I mean, we don't talk a whole lot. We were never, people who got on the phone just talked with each other. But I did hear from her a couple days ago. Her father-in-law passed away. Her husband's dad died a couple days ago. He was old, and I guess we knew it was coming. It always happens, but it happened a couple days ago. So she was kind of sad about that, and I guess her husband is kind of having, taking it tough too. But you know what, that happens. Yeah, I think a lot of times, like apartments, especially, I can see doing that. But condos and stuff like that also, they bill it as a perk. Oh, you get free cable and internet, and it's like, yeah, okay, and that's fine if you want it, and if it's the only option, you're getting a better deal with it, and that's one thing. But sometimes people aren't interested in that. Yeah, he was a nice guy. I mean, I've met him a whole bunch of times. Real good guy, but it happens. Yeah, that was one of the requirements when I was buying a house here. No HOAs. I had one in the house in California. It wasn't too bad. They basically uh, I right at the beginning I'd heard horror stories about HOAs, so I immediately made it a point to try and get myself on one of the committees, so I could maybe try and control it and have it not turn into some overbearing organization. But mine wasn't ever too bad. They basically it was a relatively low expense, and they took care of the entire front yard, what they called the common area, and it was kept nice. And there's a pool and a gym and a little barbecue area and a little park and stuff like that. So I guess it was worth it. I've heard a lot of horror stories about them too. You get some entitled person that thinks, "Oh, I'm the god of the neighborhood. Everybody's got to bow to my will," and that's all it takes to ruin one of those. I would just deduct that amount from your next bill. Yeah, see, at the worst, I think I paid 120 for the HOA I was in. Good morning, Brack. Trying to regulate your gas stove. Force you into an electric car when their states can't even support the electrical needs they have right now, let alone having 100, having a million electric cars charging every night. Yeah, right. Yeah, I've heard a lot of that about that, and like I said, I was lucky. Mine was never really that intrusive. There were a couple stupid things I think they did once or twice. I kind of keep cardboard on the floor of my garage, in case the car drips or something like that. I'm not getting oil in the garage. Well, when I work sometimes in the garage, I would take that cardboard and set it out on the driveway just to get it out of the way. And I did that I do it for like 5 or 6 hours at a time, and then it'd go back in the garage. It's not like it was out there for a week or 2 weeks or whatever. It was out there for 5 or 6 hours while I was doing what I was doing. And I actually had them call and complain about that once. You got cardboard out in your driveway. Whatever. It was 3 days later they complained, and it had already been put away for 3 days when I got the note. Yeah, well, whatever. It is what it is. That's what my mom used to say. Oh, goody. In about 45 seconds. Yes, some of you are going to need to see another Kamala ad. Brace yourselves. I like to give you a warning when I can. All right, 15 seconds. YouTube's going to be really mad at me sometime if they find out I'm mocking their ads. All right, here we go. Sorry about this. No, I didn't. I know that Rogan did interview Trump, but I didn't hear it. All right, you dodged a bullet, Yvonne. I'm sure I'll hear it. I'm sure I'll hear the Rogan interview at some point, or at least clips of it. I'm sure Trump was great. All right. Well, if you want to work it at home, uh, check him out. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Everything's on YouTube. Actually, I did think about special effects and stuff like this, but a lot of this has been inspired by. Well, I mean, I've always loved Halloween, so I can't even blame it on Disneyland. It's just, I love doing this stuff. And these two guys, these have been with me forever. And of course, this guy directly behind me here, he's the new one this year, and probably not going to get seen because we're going to probably get rained out this year. Mushroom coffee? Ew, that sounds gross. Or is that like magic mushroom coffee? I don't know. Is that what that is? Huh, interesting. But is it the magic mushroom coffee, or is it just coffee made out of mushrooms or something? I don't know. I'm not sure. I get the point. Yeah, me too, John. I'm not a coffee drinker. I've had 2 cups of coffee in my life and never really, neither of them were satisfying. I'm sure it's just like beer. I didn't like beer the first time I tried it either. But, and it's probably just because I didn't have good coffee, same as I didn't like good, bad coffee or bad beer. I'm sure if I had good coffee, but I don't get the benefit from caffeine that a lot of people do. I don't get that wired buzz feeling. It has caffeine actually has the opposite effect on me. It makes me sleepy, so I don't drink it at all. Yeah, let the millennials have it. I don't care. They can have whatever they want as long as they don't try and force it on me. I actually kind of like how the drapes on this guy here are kind of, waving in the breeze a little bit. I got the ceiling fan on there, and it's actually making him look really cool, little sinister. Considering he may not get to make his debut this year, might have to wait till next year. Yeah, yeah. I spent a little time doing the background today because I got one of those floodlights between the DVD rack and him pointed right up at him, so it's creating the shadow behind him. And then there's a black light behind him that's kind of lighting stuff up a little bit. And so that's what's giving you like the blue up here around him is that's the shadow from the red light, but the blue light from the black light. Red is definitely the theme color today. Yeah, this guy's pretty cool. I like him a lot. For the first time, he's got like a rubber mask, so you can actually see his mouth move when he talks, and the lights come on in his eyes, so he looks like he's looking at you. He kind of goes up and down like this. Yeah, well, and once again, you can kind of see the drapes, from his clothing, kind of waving in the breeze. I like that. That looks actually really cool. And I'm totally breaking the rules of video too. Uh, Technically, if I'm going to frame myself upright, I should be like this. That's me framed upright. But then you don't get to see him, so I'm just really low in the frame, so we can keep us all in there. It looks like there's 4 of us talking to you. Me and my 3 guest hosts. The fourth, if you consider the image on the TV on the monitor back there. Hey Dot, how you doing? Long time. I am doing well, Dot. Work is going good. It's a lot of work. It was a real busy week this week. I probably spent 2 or 3 hours of overtime every day, but that's what makes nice big paychecks too. I like that. All I got to do is give you a couple hours a day of overtime, and I get just a massive paycheck. So I like that. I got a nice paycheck this week, so I guess I had enough overtime last week to really boost things up there. So gonna go rock shopping today. Haven't been there in a few weeks. Yeah, we're this may be the best we get to do for Halloween this year because they're predicting rain this year. I don't know. We'll see. I hope it kind of fades. Leaning that way, Dot. Really seriously leaning that way. It's incredibly less likely at this point that I'm going to get the pool put back in again. So, I don't know. We'll start thinking seriously about that this winter because building up that area is definitely not something I'm going to want to be doing in the summer. So, as we get more into fall and winter, we'll start really seriously rethinking about that. I've liked the idea that I've had the ability that I've had like all summer to think about it. And because that's kind of how I kind of get kind of the basic basis of an idea and then start building on it and say, okay, how am I going to deal with this, how am I going to deal with that? And so I've had a lot of time to think about it, and one of the things I got to do is figure out what I'm going to do with the sprinkler system, because there's sprinkler heads that go all the way around the outside of the pool, and that's fine, I can technically use those inside the planter thing that I'm going to build up for the trees. But that means I'm also going to have to make the planter a little bigger because right now the pool heads or the sprinkler heads are on the outside of the pool. I need to move the outside of the planter so that the sprinkler heads are inside. So that means we're going to have to increase the size of it a little bit. So I don't know. We're going to see how that works. But it's given me kind of a chance to think about it and figure out, okay, how do I want to handle this? Oh yeah, there's gonna be more than trees in there. The trees will be the centerpiece, but they'll be, I got kind of got this picture of it divided into quadrants, and with a path going between, like in a crisscross pattern, with like a tree, and then a path and the path in the middle. Well, the each area for the tree is probably going to be, 7 or 8 feet in diameter. So we're going to have a lot of extra space in there. So once we get the tree in there, we'll put some other stuff in there too. Yeah, and I'm thinking since it's going to be elevated, I'm going to put a couple steps going up into it, so that you'll just go to that path that already goes out there, and then there'll be a couple steps that'll go into it. Good talking to you, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. Man, I'm just really thirsty this morning. We're barely a half hour into this thing, and I'm already through my first vodka water. I've thought about a greenhouse too, probably converting that area that's already the garden into a greenhouse. I have thought about that a lot. Reclaim all the water falling on the shed and the greenhouse, put it in barrels, and then use that water to water the plants. Yeah, oh yes, definitely thought about that. That's a one of those things that might end up waiting until I retire or something like that. But oh, at least a dozen. But yeah, it'd be cool to have a greenhouse about that back there. No, no, it isn't. That has not changed. And I don't think it will. That doesn't sound like something that's because there aren't that many areas around here that really are into that idea. Triple digits there, yikes. Yeah, we're going to be warm today, but not that warm. Yeah, that's true. Or, because I don't necessarily, I haven't grown things from seeds. I get small plants from the nursery, but yes, I could, definitely start going earlier and get my stuff going earlier. And if I were to do that, I would probably build the whole thing up so that I'm not on my knees all the time. I'm getting a little too old to be doing that. Yeah, if I'm going to do a greenhouse, I'll probably design and build it myself rather than getting something prefabricated. I've got some thoughts on how I could do that. My dad and I bought, I used to be into birds when I was a kid. I had a couple of aviaries in the backyard. Um, and my dad and I built them. And I think I could adapt a lot of what we did there. Because I mean, I used basically the same principle to that we built the aviaries to build my patio cover in the house in California. In fact, as I'm thinking about it, I was talking about harnessing for the greenhouse, harnessing the water um, from the shed and from the greenhouse, so I could save it for watering the plants. I was just thinking if I did the plumbing right, I could have like a little diverter valve, and when it's raining, I could literally channel the water into a little sprinkler system that would go right into the plants. So I could make the choice to go into the barrel, but if the barrels were already full, then we could divert it and it would just all go onto the plants. That would be the way to do that. I don't know, just like I said, this is kind of how my head works. That's why I kind of like to when I'm working on something like this, I like to take some time and think about it and work out all the details ahead of time so I know what I'm going to do. Yeah, yeah, that thing, yeah, on the Adams family, I like that. Yeah, mine wouldn't necessarily be indoor; it'd be outdoor, but it'd be a greenhouse kind of thing. And who knows, they could grow. Yeah, plants will go after people. That'd be cool. Like sending tentacles out after you. You here again? You ready for more attention? Is that what it is? Well, one down. I'm only 44 minutes into this here. I don't know. This might be a problem. Yeah, I mean, um, it would be, it'd be a considerable expense to start off, but once you get it going, and you're right, it would definitely, increase the value of the property. What? Ah! Oh, that scared Bite away. Hey, Darth, how you doing? Got both Dot and Darth here on the same day. How awesome is that? I'm doing well, Darth. Yeah, getting ready for Halloween. Although I fear it might end up getting rained out this year. I hope not, but it's kind of looking that way. So this may be Halloween as far as it goes. Yeah, yeah. Well, the two over here, they're old friends, but the guy behind us, that's the new king of Halloween this year. Work is great. I mean, it's a lot of work. That's why they call it work. But learning new things. A lot of overtime this week, so that always results in nice big paychecks. I like that. It's nice being able to get off at work, when everybody else gets off, or shortly after. But every once in a while, you got to put in those long hours, and there were a couple of long hour weeks this week, so that should result in a nice paycheck next time. I always like those, and that's what I always think to myself, like, wow, is this work really worth it? And I think, yeah, I look at the paychecks, it is worth it. So the way I look at it, I there's 3 or 4 days a week that are mine, and there's 3 or 4 days a week that are the works. And when I went to work day, you know, I belong to them, and I'll do what I got to do for that. But it is nice to get these days off, and it's those long days that make the days off nice. Yeah, yeah, I had about 80 last year, I think. Those of you just saw an ad. I hope that wasn't too terrifying. Yeah, I like that too. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to get ready for work on work days, but I like to be able to sleep in when I can. And so, on live streams, I got to get up a little bit earlier because it it takes just a while to get from sleeping to ready to do a live stream. So I'm up about 8 o'clock for 11 o'clock start, but normally I like to sleep until like 9. Yeah, you can. I got that money for you now, Dot. You can come by 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Ask for Brandon. I'll take care of it. No, like I said, Dot can come right to the house to pick it up. Yeah, I kind of wanted to play on that joke, play along with that joke a little bit, Dot. But what I wanted to do is say, you're right. That's a cruel thing to do. Here's the real address. And then there was that scene in the Blues Brothers where they gave the police and stuff like their address, and the address was like the address to Wrigley Field. I couldn't remember what the address was, and so that was my plan, would to go there. But like I said, I couldn't have it play off because I didn't remember the address. Oh well, something Addison Drive or something. I don't remember. Yeah, yeah. Well, everything's more expensive. That's a drag too. And that's what makes the nice paychecks at work good too. I'm getting so much more money from work right now that it doesn't even really affect me. So I'm in a really lucky position right now. Things have really worked out well for me. How about them Dodgers? I guess they won the second one, huh? Yeah, it doesn't hold any meaning to me. I don't care. I don't have a horse in the race. No, I haven't been to the Rock Place in a couple of weeks because the last two times I went, combined, I spent like $1,900, and that's like a lot more than I'm usually prepared to spend. So I wanted to get that all paid off before I, um, went again. But I'm going to go today. I know that there's this cool piece of aquamarine that they got for me that they've been holding for me. So I'm definitely going to go buy that today and see what else they got. They showed me a bunch of things that were uh, really cool. Here, in fact, I'll show you the. I'll see. I think I can show you the things that I was looking at here. Hold on. I think I've shown you these before, but let's see. Okay, let's cut away to this here. I like the fact that I can do this. This is actually a cool feature that YouTube has given us the ability to do. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is one of the things that what she did is she just sent me they go to like wholesalers every once in a while, and so she'll just send me, she'll take pictures of things she likes and wants to remember, and then she just sent me this whole thing. And so there was this thing. I'm not really into this as much because I'm not into the polished rocks so much. Yeah, that's kind of goofy. um I like this thing in the lower corner here, lower right hand corner. I was kind of looking at something like that. Um, let's see. Let's see. That's pretty cool too. But that's $3,500. See that tag on there? Yeah, that's a little bit more, but that's an awesome piece. I think that's the same thing. She sent me that. That's pretty cool. That's $350. Oh, sorry. That's pretty cool. The nice amethyst cathedral. I definitely love this thing. That thing would look great in my house. That's kind of cool. Oh, I keep doing this. Sorry about that. If you don't press the button at the right interval here, it goes back. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that one too. Look at all those fossils in there. That's really cool. I'm going to see if I can find that piece of aquamarine though. I was definitely looking at this thing here. Let's see. Can I zoom in on this? Maybe not. Nuts. Okay, I guess I can't. But that thing in the kind of the left or the right kind of front there on the shelf, that thing's really neat. That's the piece of aquamarine. I think I'm going to go pick up today, either this one or the other one in the picture there. But yeah, I'm going to add that to my collection today. So anyway, I keep dropping out of that. So, oops, I did that wrong. I think we're lucky to have each other, Gene. It's one of the things that makes it really easy to do is for the first time ever, I actually consider myself friends with my boss. He was even saying he may stop by the house on Halloween to see my Halloween decorations. But there were 3 or 4 things on in that list of pictures that I asked him that I said I'd be interested in looking at in person. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what they have. I don't know. I think I'd tinker around the house. I guess it would depend on how much, how much money I have. I tinker around the house, but yeah, I'd probably travel some too. Like I say, I want to go look at, yeah, definitely Yellowstone, Darth. I want to go look at national parks. I could see myself after retiring, just turning into someone who kind of travels around looking at national parks. There's so many, and that'll be different from Jordan because Jordan doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. But I think it'd be fun. I that's what my family used to do for family vacations every year when we were kids. We'd go to national parks. So I've been to a whole bunch of them, and there's some great stuff. I was really glad to be able to take you to see Carlsbad Caverns because that was one of the places we went when I was a kid. I don't know about buying a van or RV, but I could see maybe renting one. I remember hearing Jordan talk once about when Adam the Woo had a little motorhome, and Jordan said that Adam really didn't like it. So I could see maybe renting one, but yeah, I don't get vandalized and stuff like that in any way. But that's just who our society's turned into these days. But like I said, I wouldn't want to have to store it or do any of that stuff. Yes, I could probably put it in my front yard, but I don't know. I think that looks tacky, and I don't want to. I want the upkeep of it, and it would be more something I'd find some company I could rent something from. Well, and that wouldn't be an issue with me. I'm more than capable of roughing it. As long as it's got a bed. Heck, I could get a camper trailer or a tent trailer kind of thing, and do that, haul that around. In fact, I could probably do that. That would maybe be the way to go if I was going to buy anything. Would be like a tent trailer, something I could just haul around behind the car and do things that way. Yeah, that does make sense. And I don't know. Yeah, sometimes maybe it's just better to do the hotel route. I do want to drive though, because I had a kick. I got a kick out of driving to California and back a couple times in the last few years. Yeah, and it wouldn't even have to be a nice one. It's just I'm a very basic kind of person. Yeah, but if I drove my car and I did find someplace I want to sleep under the stars, I got a tent. I got all the camping supplies I need. I got a little propane stove. I got a lantern. I got everything I need. I could do that. Yeah, watch for UFOs. I don't know. I was thinking more socks and Crocs. That just works better. Kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Got my socks and Crocs. Been through Roswell a couple of times. Jordan and I visited Roswell when he accompanied me to Texas, and then I drove through it again earlier this year when I was coming home from California. No, I don't need a. I don't need a TV in my to to do that to go on vacation. I don't go on vacation to watch TV. Shower, that might be an issue, and that might be one of those issues where maybe I, camp out a couple of days and then we get in a hotel or something. There's nothing that says that you got to do one or the other. We're supposed to get a lot of rainfall this week. Might ruin Halloween for me. Oh, the grandfather clock is loud. Oh, I didn't hear about that in Roswell. Fight was out here a little bit at the beginning of the live stream as usual. Nibble's doing her thing. She just kind of likes to hang out in her room. Truth is, I'm convinced that they come out at night or when I'm not here, because there've been a couple times where I, get ready to go to bed, give them their food, which is usually the last thing I do before I go into my room. I go into my room, turn out all the rest of the lights, and then I'll forget something I need to do, and I'll come out, and they'll both be out in the hall. So they just take over the house at night or when I'm not here. Other than that, they largely stay in their room. Haven't seen Flash in a few days, but it's been kind of, I'm last couple of days I've been at work, so I don't generally see her if I come home from work, and because when I get out of work now, it's dark. Even when I get out at the earliest possible time, and at that point, she's already found some place to bed down for the night. No, I actually haven't watched any Halloween movies. I saw Poltergeist a couple weeks ago. I guess that counts. And I got a frame from Texas Chainsaw Massacre on the screen behind me. Yeah, I mean, like I said, she's been here for almost 2 years now. No, more than 2 years now. So she hasn't found her way out of the yard, and so she's basically free to go wherever she wants during the summer. In the winter, if I don't know where she is, I'll put her in her box. That way, if I have to, I can move her into the house or into the garage. But yeah, basically, she can go wherever she wants in the summer. That's it. All access. No pass required. Good morning, Gene. The other Gene. Get the water a little bit more in reach here. Gene 1, Gene 2. Okay, if that's what we want to do it. All right, so I'm going to need each of you to change your profile names to Gene 1 and Gene 2 then. The Battle of the Genes. My brother Daryl, my other brother Daryl. There are several caves under Disneyland. I've been there, been in them. There's one of them kind of behind the Pirates of the Caribbean, and then there's one that goes from the Innovations building to all the way out in front of the Matterhorn. In fact, it goes directly under the Tomorrowland Terrace. So if you've ever been there and know that stage that comes out of the ground, yeah, you get into it from underneath through the tunnels. Now I heard it's a lot more in Disney World. Disney World, the whole land was brought up, and there's an entire underground city under there supporting everything. So you can get anywhere in the park underground without having to make yourself visible. That's how you end up not having frontier land costume people in Tomorrowland. Yeah, in terms of horror movies, the things that I basically want to watch, I have DVDs or Blu-rays of them. No, I've never seen a subterranean golf cart highway. There are, like I said, I've never been in the tunnels at Disney World because I've only been there once and only as a guest. But I've been through the tunnels in Disneyland, and I can confirm that they are there. See, I think it wasn't really, it was an afterthought that they did where they created the tunnel. And they really realized how good of an idea that was. And so they really, really expanded that at Disney World. See, part of the problem they have at Disneyland is so much of the property is tied up by administrative stuff. All that administrative stuff is underground at Disney World. That is the new King of Halloween this year. I showed you him being put together a few weeks ago on a vlog. No, of course you can't kill the boogeyman. You can't have a sequel without a boogeyman. Yeah, I know he looks really menacing. I actually kind of screwed up. I should have gotten him a little bit more centered with me, so he's right behind me. But actually, maybe it's better. You can see more of him. You see, you don't even see the lantern he's carrying. Jimmy Lee Curtis was great in that. Yeah, Jack Lantern would be cool too. Oh yeah, some of you saw another ad just a minute ago. Sorry about that. Yeah, I generally don't watch very many remakes. They're rarely as good as the original. Although I do like the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I think it's way scarier. Yeah, the shadows look great on the ceiling too, don't they? That's a combination of the red spotlight that's lighting up the King of Halloween here and a black light that I have behind it. Yeah, and actually, it's just the shadow of the garment that on the ceiling that you're seeing. Standing up straight, he's about 8 feet tall, and he kind of goes up, rises up and down a little bit as he talks. I'll go stand next to him so you can kind of get a bearing here. Remember, he's slouching a little bit, so yeah, I'm standing next to him, and I mean, right now his back is about my head height, but he kind of goes up and down like this as he talks. And so I don't know if he's in his down position. I think he's in his down position right now. But yeah, he looks really cool when he's on. All right, get back into live stream position here. Did I build him? I assembled him. I bought him as a kit and just put him together. The babies are still in the window. No, I kind of put off a national park vacation this year too much. We'll try again maybe next year. I do want to do that. It's just one of those things. I'm sometimes a procrastinator, and I procrastinate too long this time. The truth is, I do have the vacation time, to do it. In fact, it's funny. The other lead was looking at the calendar a few days ago, and she saw my name on the calendar for having Halloween and the day after Halloween off, and she was surprised. She said, "You're taking vacation time?" The cats seem to ignore him. They don't seem to be aware of him. Oh, I'm sorry, Dot. Don't be too disappointed. I do like being home. I think that's part of it too. You know, it's a lot of work to get out and do that, but I do love doing it. Like I said, when I drove to California last year or a couple years ago, I actually had a blast doing it. I thought it was going to be a long trip, but it's just so beautiful. There's so much stuff to see. I did. That's good news. Glad we got them back. Come on up. See if he's going to visit us here, or if he's just going to be a tease. He'll do that sometimes. He'll be a tease and pretend he's going to come up and visit, and then just sit there and stare at me. That didn't work on you. It worked on everybody else's pets, didn't it? Come on. Here he comes. There he is. You can kind of see he starts getting ready, kind of gets into the jumping position here, don't you? Why don't you come over here a little bit and we'll make this a little easier. Yeah, in this case, the treat is just getting a nice brushing. Yeah, you like that. Getting a little matty, dude. No, I've had people suggest that I need to maybe get those insured. I doubt the collection is covered by the homeowner's policy. I probably got to do something about that. It is getting to the point where there's enough value in there that I gotta start maybe thinking about that. A couple mats out here by your tail we got to get rid of, dude. Okay, that's enough for a while. People are talking to me and I'm being rude. I'm not paying attention to them. And they're the people that this is really all about. You're just the co-star here. Couple of Halloween decorations up. Nothing since last time. Nothing new. I don't know. I'm sure there's HOAs everywhere. Yeah, and unfortunately, I don't have necessarily the prices of all of them anymore. Some of them still have the tag on them, but you've just been confused for a fine co-star. Yeah, it does. It looks like it would, but it doesn't. I do have T-shirts that do glow under a black light. The one that I retired that I stopped wearing a while ago that I had for a long time. It was designed to look like you were on a table and three aliens were on top of you, like doing experiments with you. And that one glowed in the dark. That was cool. And under a black light. Looks like there's another ad coming here. Let's get a little closer here so I can see with my glasses here. Get too far away and everything. I got to start squinting to read what's on the screen here. I've got most of it at the same place. The only other stuff I've gotten is stuff that I've gotten either while I travel. I got a couple things when I came back from California last time. I got a piece of petrified wood at the Petrified Wood Forest, and and a piece of what is it they call it? I don't remember what they call it. Um, Rainbow carbonium from Meteor Crater. Yeah, I could bring an appraiser in. Greenpeace ad, okay. Well, if you're into that, I guess I don't really have a serious problem with them. It's funny. The squirrels use the house as a highway between the different trees in the front yard and the backyard, and so every once in a while, I'll hear the squirrels scampering over the roof. It's probably the same squirrels because I there's a small family of squirrels that are in the backyard a lot, and they kind of hang out in the 4 yards, kind of around that are kind of joined together, including mine and my next door neighbor, and then the two houses behind us. And it's it's kind of a super highway. They can get anywhere they want. There's so many trees in the area that they can just go from tree to tree to tree and get where they want. Never need to come down to the ground except when they need food. Good to see you, Gene. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, right. That is true. I never imagined I'd hear people concerned about my rocks. I mean, they've never been concerned about the rocks in here. But it is a legitimate concern though, because I mean, between that collection there and the one and the stuff behind me, there's probably 10 grand there at least. And oftentimes with rock collections like that, the collection is worth more than the sum of the parts because there's a lot of work going to just getting individual pieces like that. And if you can go get it all from one place, there's people that'll be worth taking it off your hand for a larger amount just because it's such an impressive collection. But they make me happy, so that's cool. What I'd really like to do is go to some of the places where these people are finding these things and find something of my own. It's funny, there's this page on Facebook I started following recently that show a lot of, let's see if I can find one here. Let's see, it pops up like every five articles when I'm not looking for it, but here we are. Oh, let's see, there we go. Is that one? No. Let's see. There, that's the one I'm looking for. So I'm going to take you out here and we're going to show you some of these other. Okay, we're going to go over here. So this place is called Rock and Laser, and I kind of follow this, and it was one of those things. I guess they figured out that I'm kind of into rocks, and so this started showing up on my timeline, and I said, oh, this is kind of cool, and like all sorts of like pretty kind of specimens. I mean, look at that. How cool is that thing? I saw that one this morning. That's what do they call that? A garnet and smoky quartz. Oh yeah, look at this thing. That thing's massive. That thing's got to be 2 feet high and got to weigh 100, 150 pounds. How amazing would that be in my collection? I'd love to have that. That's pretty too. What is that? Quartz crystal from Brazil. See, I'm not as into that because that's polished. That too, that's been cut and polished. I, this too. I mean, that was just I think a beautiful amethyst, and someone just cut that up and shaped it. I don't know. I think rocks like that are ruined when you do that. I have a few things that are cut and polished, but for the most part, they're all natural. That's kind of cool. What is that? What do they call that? Rhodochrosite. That's cool. That's cool too, but once again, it's polished. There you go. Check that out. That's awesome. But yeah, this is the kind of things that are like popping up on my timeline now. That's really cool. I'd love to have that. That's a nice piece of aquamarine. Yeah, they got some cool stuff over there. So yeah, that's the kind of I love the things that that's a great one. I've enjoyed being a part of that because they put really great stuff on my timeline. I mean, yeah, you look at my collection. You know, most of the stuff there is natural. You know, it's natural pieces of something. I just think it's much more beautiful than when you take something that's naturally beautiful. It's like, oh, I'm going to change it. It's like, what, really? Yeah, that's it. A lot of those things, they're gorgeous just the way they are. I mean, when I first got, let's see, I'm always horrible doing this here. This piece here, that one right there. First picture I saw of it, oh, that's kind of cool. And I wasn't really that impressed with it. But when I saw it in the store, I was like, okay, that is pretty cool. And when I got it home and looked at it under the lights I have here, it is gorgeous. It's my favorite piece right now. It's absolutely massive. It's on a beautiful driftwood frame too. In my case, I don't usually just go in looking for something specific. I am I'm looking for something that kind of catches my eye. And see, that's where Chris and Kara have got kind of an advantage now. They know what it is, the kind of things that capture my attention. Yeah, I got that corpse crystal. That was recent. Haven't found a kyber crystal though. Yeah, the stand is cool. I'm a little worried about the stand because the stand is a little unstable. The rock doesn't sit in there very well, and I actually had to stabilize the stand a little bit to make it less risk of falling out. I'm terrified that that piece is going to fall off the stand and fall forward because if that falls, that's a good 4.5 feet. If that falls 4.5 feet to the ground, that's going to shatter, and that would make me very sad. So I gotta figure out what I'm going to do with that to make sure that that doesn't happen. It might be something as simple as some sort of a brace on the back to hold it so that it doesn't fall forward. Okay, Black Dot's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Black Dot. Good to see you again. Always good to see you. We have fun conversations with Black Dot. It does rock. Ask for Brandon. Hopefully within a couple months, it'll be asked for Donald. No, I haven't heard from Rhonda in a few days. Hope she's doing better. She was here last week. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe she spends some time with the family. Well, I do have like some little felt stickers on it because I do that on anything that's a good size because I want to be able to move it around without damaging the wood that it's being sat on. But you know, I there's only so much I can do, and unfortunately, what I ended up doing is putting a little wedge of wood on the front, so it doesn't tip as much, but it's still a little bit unstable in the stand itself. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe what I might do is some sort of platform, some sort of flat something on the bottom that the stand sits on, so the weight of the thing is holding it down, and then like a piece of cord or something going up from that to the stone attached to it, so it doesn't tumble forward. I think that's probably a kind of a low tech way I could deal with the issue because then just the weight of the thing would keep it steady. She's going in on surgery on Thursday. Okay, that's probably maybe that's why she's not here. She's maybe still recovering. Yeah, what did she do? Slip on lettuce? Yeah, that's an embarrassing one, right? Yeah, it could be. I keep thinking I got to do a restaurant vlog. I haven't done one in a while. Jeff stops in. I think he was here a little bit lately. I haven't seen Dr. Susan in a long time. I don't know. Maybe she's over it. We usually capture Jeff between church and lunch. Oh, okay. Well, so she's not not bedridden yet, then I guess, huh? I thought she had the surgery already, but that's okay. No, no Silo Scream video this year. I was only there for a couple days, and I'm not going to be able to go back anymore. I like doing it, but you know, I between getting up at 4:30 now to go to work and the fact that I can't blow out of here at 7:30 to drive up to Temple, it just it can't work. But fortunately, maintenance intervals are still happening in the first couple weeks of October, and so that works well for me. Yeah, this is the Halloween lineup this year. That and the zombie babies. Green chili pork stew. That sounds good. There is a burger restaurant I want to do. I've always kind of had the wrong idea based on what it was called. It's called the Health Club, but apparently it's been around Waco for like 50, 60, 70 years, and it's a burger place. Yeah, I love good Mexican food. Well, I mean, the recalls are with the raw food itself. So if the restaurant is doing their best, it's you're gonna face the same risk buying food at the grocery store. Well, you shouldn't be eating McDonald's anyway. The food, I don't know why anybody goes to McDonald's. The food is horrible. Okay, their fries rock. So that's the grandfather. Cuckoo should go off in a minute here, I think too. No, I don't think that one goes off on the quarter hour. I guess I did hear about boar's head meat. Yes, he did. He worked at McDonald's longer than Kamala did. I love all the people out there saying it's a stunt. Oh yeah, it was a stunt. Yeah, no, really. The only reason you got to tell people it's a stunt is because your viewers are too stupid to realize that Donald Trump didn't go and get a part-time job at McDonald's. This is true, Gene. I think that's the reason I stopped going to fast food, especially. Unfortunately, that's the way it is sometimes in business, Yvonne. But sometimes it also matters how you deal with it. I was just reading a story recently that would recall the Tylenol scare. You remember that back in what 20, 30, 40 years ago? People were putting poison in Tylenol and people were dying. You don't even think about that anymore because Tylenol did what they had to do. They protected their product. They made it. They started. They were the first ones to put the tamper resistant uh, liner over the thing, and so you had to break it open before you could use it the first time. What people said realized this wasn't their fault. This was some psycho, and Tylenol dealt with it. And they earned their customers' trust back. Boar's Head can do that too. And I mean, everybody does that now. Yeah, I've been rather than having YouTube set the ad rate or ad pace, I've been doing it myself. And they give you an option to set up how frequently the ads go. I wish they'd give me an option to set 15 minutes, but they give you 12 or they give you 18, and so I go with the 12. I think the pool is pretty much wrapped up. We're going to do something else. I think I went the whole summer and never once did I say, "Gee, I really feel like hopping in the pool." I think a lot of times I got in the pool just because it was there and I wanted to feel like I was using it. So many sickos wanting attention these days. That could just that could equally use or easily describe me here. Yeah, people are just I don't know. Well, that's what happens when you have a whole generation that were raised by friends instead of parents who never heard the word no and realized that early on that if they threw a big enough temper tantrum, they could get whatever they want. Now these toddlers who are doing that are adults and they're still throwing temper tantrums to get the way they want because they don't understand that they don't get to have everything they want. And I don't know how we get out of that. It's really a lost generation. All we can hope is that someday they outgrow it. There's no scary people behind me. I just got 4 friends with me today. Jury's still out on that one, Gene. Yeah, that's what they are. They're Karens. Yeah, there's annoying members of every generation. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Yvonne. I haven't heard that term in a long time either, though. That's funny. That's true. Yeah, and we keep going around saying men can't menstruate, but I don't know. It's getting harder and harder to tell. Yeah, there's an old joke about men with hair buns, and it goes something to the effect of: Imagine a wolf looking at a pug and realizing that that's his ancestor. Your grandfather feels the same way when he looks at your man bun. I don't know if Jordan got married yet. I don't know if he's doing private or how he's dealing with that. Might just be a little private thing. I don't know. I haven't heard anything one way or another. Yeah, I can't think of anybody I'd rather have mediate. A snowflake is a person basically who melts whenever they're hit with any kind of criticism. They don't like to be told, and they just basically melt away when they don't like to be told anything that they don't agree with. They don't think it should be heard, and they just go into hissy fits whenever somebody says something they don't agree with. That's a snowflake. Hey, Roberta. Yeah, I heard that too. He's not going to vlog it. Like I said, it might just be a personal thing. I don't know one way or another though. Oops. I got to stop punching the laptop here. That's not cool. Not supposed to do that. See, it happens a little bit more though, because I actually have the laptop on a TV tray, but I actually have the front of the laptop hanging off the TV tray about 4 inches so I can get it close enough to me. So see, if I have the uh, TV at the edge of the laptop at the edge of the tray, this is how far away it is. And I can't even read that. So I got to move it closer here so that I can read. But unfortunately, when it hangs that much over the edge of the laptop, over the edge of the TV tray, I sometimes bump it with my hands when I'm moving around. I wish I had Jordan's gift of just going up and starting a conversation with anyone. But that's what makes him who he is, and what makes him such a good vlogger. Because he can just go do that. I'm not that person. I'm not somebody that's going to be able to walk up to a stranger and say, "Hey, can I talk to you?" Especially if they're like a celebrity. I mean, Jordan's gotten me signed photos from celebrities, so he got me a signed promotional photo of the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers from Kevin McCarthy when Kevin McCarthy did the voiceover on one of his albums. Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're coming through Texas just this weekend, I guess, Dallas and Austin. So yeah, they're going around. I mean, I'm hearing rumors that the singer may be on the verge of retiring. Hopefully, he's got enough money now he can do that. But I'm kind of to the point where I've seen him enough, and I'm not as into the newer music as I was. I think a lot of the music is technically more proficient now because he's got really great musicians. Every one of the players with him now are really amazing musicians. He's got Doug Gillard and Kevin March and Bobby Bear Jr. and what's the other guy's name? I can't remember the other guy's name. I can see him. Mark something. They're all really good musicians, but I don't know. I think sometimes the music he does too much of it, and I think that kind of it kind of led to him. When he puts everything out, then the signal to noise ratio goes down. You know, I think it was better when he was kind of limited. I remember hearing a quote from him once where he said that he could write 5 songs while sitting on the toilet and that 3 of them would be good. Well, I think when he made his agreement, when he went back onto Matador, I think it was before that when he went on to TVT, that he made an agreement that he could release anything he wanted. And when he started releasing everything he wanted, he'd release 2, 3, 4, 5 albums a year. And I think those 2 songs that maybe he wrote on the toilet that weren't so good ended up on some of these albums. I don't know. Yeah, but Jordan likes to keep changing up what he does. That's I think what sort of makes it interesting because his vlog isn't what it was when it first started. Well, see, and that is probably true. You know, Jordan. I remember before Jordan was vlogging, he kind of moved from. He never really had really good jobs that had a real good future for him. It was always kind of just an entry level thing. So yeah, that is different between us. I'm never going to be the vlogger he is. I'm not the natural at it. I don't have the personality he does and the ability just to walk up to strangers and all that and the ability to present it in the way he does. He's a way better speaker than I am. And he can, tell a compelling story and keep you interested. I don't do that very well. So, I'm very happy for Jordan and his success. He deserves all of it because he worked hard for as long as I knew him to get to the point where he is now. And he deserves it. He worked hard. See, that was one of the things that I really liked about Jordan's vlogs was that even if it was a subject I wasn't really terribly into, I'd watch it because I know it'd still, it'd be still interesting and I'd learn something about whatever the subject was. Well, I'm sure he's still paying Social Security and, he's making decent money off of vlogging. He's supporting himself doing that. I think he's probably better off financially than I am. And I'm not in bad shape. Appreciate that, Gene. That's nice of you to say that. But and maybe you like a part of my personality and we kind of click together. But I am not as engaging as Jordan is. Maybe I'm engaging enough, but some people just have more of a personality than others do. And I've never talked to Jordan about what his investment strategies are, but I haven't noticed him like wasting money. So I mean, yeah, he bought that house, but that's an investment, and I'm sure that house is worth more now than it was when he bought it. I know mine is. It's a good investment. Anyway, I put in my 2 hours, and I kind of want to go down to the rock shop because I want to get a look at that piece of aquamarine that they got for me and see what else they got. So I'm going to pull the plug on this one, and we'll catch up with you again next week. Thanks everyone for stopping in. I'll see you next week. Happy Halloween.